Your mind is your prison and your key. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a vast, infinite desert. The sand stretches endlessly in every direction. The sky above is vast and empty, and all you can hear is the wind whispering in your ears. But it's not the landscape that holds your attention. It's the feeling deep inside you. A feeling that this vastness, this emptiness, mirrors something inside your mind. A prison you can't escape. The walls are invisible, but they are there. They're built from your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. You don't even see them, yet they bind you. They tell you what you can't do. They tell you why you will fail. And the worst part? They tell you that there is no way out. But here's the truth. The only thing keeping you trapped, the only thing that holds you in this self-made prison, is your mind. The very thing you rely on for survival, for thinking, for making decisions, is the same thing that locks you away from your potential. Your mind is both your captor and your liberator. You see, the mind is not just a tool for survival or a database for all your thoughts. It's a mirror. It reflects the world back at you, but it also distorts that reflection, making everything seem harder, more complex, more unreachable than it actually is. You feel like you're stuck in a labyrinth, but you're the one who built the walls. You're the one who created the maze. And yet you have the key to set yourself free. The mind is a double-edged sword. It has the power to imprison you, to keep you in a state of fear, to hold you back from taking the risks that will set you on the path of freedom. But at the same time, it is the very tool that can help you break free. It's the same mind that, when awakened, can see through the illusions you've created, the walls that have held you in place. It's the mind that can choose a new path, a new perspective, a new way of thinking. But the question is, are you ready to take that step? Are you willing to see beyond the walls you've built? Are you ready to challenge the very beliefs and thoughts that have been running your life? You have to realize that your mind is not an external force. It doesn't control you unless you let it. You are the creator of your own reality, and the thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, are the things that shape the world around you. This isn't just a concept. This is truth. The truth that you've been running from because it's too hard to face. But until you face it, until you look at it directly, you'll never be free. What if I told you that everything you're afraid of, every obstacle, every challenge, every failure, is just a creation of your own mind? It's not real. It's not something you have to fear. You don't need to fear failure because failure is simply a moment in time, a lesson to learn. But your mind tells you that failure is the end. It tells you that falling short means you're not good enough, that you'll never be enough. But here's the truth. You are enough. You've always been enough. The problem is that your mind has been telling you otherwise. Your mind has been convincing you that you're broken, that you're not capable, that you're not worthy of success, happiness, or love. But that's a lie. And the moment you start seeing through the lie, that's when you begin to unlock the door to your freedom. Now, I want you to think for a moment. Close your eyes if you need to. Think about a moment in your life when you were scared, when you were afraid to take a step forward. Maybe it was a decision to leave a toxic relationship, to start a new job, or to chase a dream that seemed impossible. Remember how your mind flooded you with doubts. Remember how it tried to convince you that you weren't ready, that you weren't enough. But then, at some point, you took that step. You ignored the doubts, the fears, the prison your mind had built for you. You stepped forward anyway. And what happened? You learned. You grew. You realized that your mind, your fears, were just illusions. And you saw that the freedom you were seeking was already inside you. But it wasn't easy, was it? The hardest part was breaking through the barrier that existed only in your mind. And that's the key. The mind will always create obstacles, create prisons for you. But it can't hold you there unless you let it. And once you realize that, once you understand that your mind is not your enemy, it becomes the tool you use to break free. Your mind is your greatest weapon. It's the key that will unlock the door to everything you've ever wanted, everything you've ever dreamed of. But to use it, you must first realize the one truth that changes everything. You are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. You are not the stories your mind tells you. You are the awareness behind it, the one who can choose what thoughts to entertain and which ones to reject. The moment you realize this, the prison dissolves. The walls vanish. The key has always been in your hand. All you had to do was look. Now let's dive deeper. Think about all the moments in your life where you felt trapped. Whether it was a bad decision you couldn't undo, a mistake you couldn't forgive yourself for, or a fear you couldn't shake. All of these things are constructs of your mind. They are illusions built on the foundation of your past experiences, your conditioning, your thoughts. They aren't truths. They are just stories. And stories can be rewritten. You're not defined by your past. Your mind may tell you that your history dictates your future, that your failures are a reflection of your worth. But that's the mind's way of keeping you in line, of keeping you small. It thrives on the idea that you are limited by what has already happened. But here's the truth. You can break free from that. You are not bound by yesterday's mistakes, or even today's doubts. You have the power to create a new narrative, a new path forward. But it's not easy, is it? To break free from the prison of your own mind. It takes courage. Courage to challenge the stories that have been etched in your mind for years. Courage to face the discomfort that comes with stepping into the unknown. The unknown where the mind no longer has control. And that's what scares most people. The unknown. The moment when you let go of the prison, when you step out of your comfort zone and into uncertainty, your mind will fight you every step of the way. It will tell you to go back, to stay safe, to stay where it feels comfortable. But you must push through, because it is only through the unknown that you will find your true freedom. Freedom is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to walk through it, the willingness to let go of the chains that have kept you in a place you were never meant to be. The chains are not real. They are made of thoughts, made of beliefs that you've carried with you for too long. And now is the time to let them go. You don't need permission to be free. You don't need anyone's approval. The only thing you need is the understanding that you have the power to unlock the door to your own prison. The only thing you need is to realize that you are not a prisoner. You are the one who has the key. But the key is not always obvious. It's not always easy to find. Sometimes it's hidden behind layers of doubt, insecurity, and fear. But the more you search, the more you question, the clearer it becomes. The key is inside you, waiting for you to remember it. Remember that freedom isn't something you acquire from the outside. It's something you reclaim from within. You are free, but you've been taught to believe that you're not. You've been taught that freedom is something that comes from achieving, from gaining, from acquiring things outside of yourself. But true freedom is not in things. It's in the mind. It's in the realization that you are the creator of your reality, and that nothing, absolutely nothing, can bind you unless you allow it. Your mind is a tool. It's a powerful tool. But it's also a mirror. It reflects the world back at you, and it reflects your deepest beliefs. If you believe that you're stuck, if you believe that you're not capable, if you believe that you can't change, that's what your mind will show you. But if you choose to believe in your power, in your ability to create, in your ability to break free from the stories you've been telling yourself, your mind will reflect that too. The key is not to fight the mind, but to understand it, to see it for what it truly is, not the ruler of your life, but the servant of your beliefs. And when you change those beliefs, when you let go of the stories that have kept you trapped, your mind becomes the greatest ally in your journey to freedom. You don't need to become someone else to break free. You don't need to change who you are. You just need to remember who you've always been. Someone who is whole, someone who is capable, someone who is already free. The mind will try to convince you otherwise, but don't listen. In the silence, in the stillness, in the space between your thoughts, you will find the truth. You will find that the prison was never real, and you will find that the key has always been in your hands. But here's where the journey truly begins, when you start to act as though you are already free, when you start to embody the belief that nothing can hold you back. Because freedom doesn't come with the external circumstances changing. It comes with your inner shift, your decision to see the world differently. Your mind is the lens through which you experience everything. And when you change the lens, the whole world changes. You see, your mind will constantly try to convince you that you are bound by your circumstances. It will tell you that your past defines your future, that your mistakes are who you are, and that you will never break free. It will tell you that it's too late, that you're too far gone. But those are lies. Those are the walls of your prison talking. And the only way to escape is to stop believing them. Every time you listen to the doubts, every time you let fear dictate your actions, you reinforce the prison. You give more power to the very thing that is keeping you small. But every time you step out of your comfort zone, every time you choose to believe in your own power, you begin to break those chains. It may be uncomfortable at first, because the mind doesn't like change. It resists the unknown, the unfamiliar, because it's easier to stay in the prison than to face the uncertainty of freedom. But the truth is, you were never meant to stay in the prison. You were meant to break free. And as you break free, you'll begin to see the world with new eyes. You'll begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You'll start to recognize that the only limits that exist are the ones you impose on yourself. The only walls that stand are the ones you've built. And when you realize this, when you truly understand that you are the creator of your own reality, you will no longer be bound by anything, not by your past, not by your fears, and certainly not by your mind. Your mind is not the enemy, it's your tool, your servant. But for it to serve you, you must learn to master it. You must learn to recognize the difference between the thoughts that empower you and the thoughts that limit you. You must learn to discern the voice of fear from the voice of wisdom. And most importantly, you must learn to trust yourself. To trust that you have the power to change, to grow, and to become whoever you choose to be. The mind will continue to create illusions, continue to throw obstacles in your way. It will tell you that you can't, that you're not ready, that you'll fail. But the key is to hear those thoughts, acknowledge them, and then choose to move forward anyway. Because every time you choose to move forward despite the fear, despite the doubt, you strengthen your ability to break free. You reinforce the truth that you are not your mind, and that you are the one who controls it. This is the paradox. The mind, in all its complexity and power, is both the prison and the key. The moment you realize that, the moment you see that you are not a prisoner of your thoughts but the master of them, you unlock the door. You step into the world with the understanding that you are free, not because of anything outside of you, but because you have chosen to be. You have chosen to let go of the stories that have held you back. You've chosen to break free from the illusions that have kept you small. And in that choice, you find the power to create a new reality. A reality that is not defined by your past or your fears, but by your potential, your courage, and your strength. You are free, not because the world has changed, but because you have. And that freedom, once you taste it, will never be something you can go back from. Because once you've broken free from your mind's prison, you will never forget that you hold the key. When you stand at the threshold of freedom, you realize that the walls of your prison were never made of stone or iron. They were made of your thoughts, your beliefs, your limitations. And once you understand that, the entire concept of being trapped begins to lose its power over you. You'll notice something strange happening as you step into this new reality. The world will begin to change. Not because anything outside of you has changed, but because you see it differently. The obstacles that once seemed insurmountable, the challenges that once felt overwhelming, will no longer feel like barriers. They will simply become opportunities for growth, for learning, for mastering the very thing that once intimidated you. This shift in perception is the true key to freedom. It's not about external circumstances, it's about how you respond to them. The mind, when freed from its prison of limiting beliefs, becomes a tool of creation, a force that propels you forward instead of holding you back. Your thoughts can either be the chains that bind you or the wings that lift you. But here's the thing, you must be vigilant. Even as you begin to see the power of your mind, even as you begin to recognize that you are not your thoughts, there will be moments when your mind tries to pull you back into the prison. It will tell you that you are not enough, that you can't do it, that the world is too dangerous, too uncertain. And in those moments, you must remember, your mind is not your master. You are. The prison doesn't exist unless you allow it to. The key is always in your hand, and it's time to unlock the door and step into the unknown. But the unknown is not something to fear. It's a realm of possibility, a place where everything is waiting to be created, where you have the power to shape your reality with the choices you make and the beliefs you hold. So, what happens when you step into the unknown? What happens when you embrace the freedom that comes from letting go of your limiting beliefs? You begin to see the world as it truly is, a vast, open space full of endless possibilities, where the only limits that exist are the ones you choose to place on yourself. You are not bound by your past. You are not bound by your fears. You are not bound by anything except the stories you tell yourself. And when you change the story, when you rewrite the narrative of your life, you step into your power. You become the creator of your reality, and you begin to live in alignment with the truth of who you are. The truth is this: you are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the sum of your past experiences. You are not defined by anything except the choices you make in the present moment. And once you recognize this, once you understand that your past does not dictate your future, you will begin to make different choices. You will begin to choose freedom. You will begin to choose empowerment. You will begin to choose to be the person you were always meant to be. The moment you realize that you are not a prisoner of your mind is the moment your life changes. You will no longer be bound by the chains of fear, doubt, or insecurity. You will no longer be defined by the limitations that once held you back. You will be free to create, to dream, to live a life of purpose, passion, and fulfillment. And the beautiful part of all of this? It's already within you. The key to freedom is not something you need to find or acquire. It's something you already have. It's the power to change your thoughts, to change your beliefs, to change your life. It's the ability to recognize that you are the one who holds the key, and that no one and nothing can take it away from you unless you allow it. So ask yourself, what story are you telling yourself? What beliefs are you holding on to that are keeping you stuck in the prison of your own mind? And most importantly, are you ready to let go of those stories and step into the freedom that has always been yours? The mind is not the enemy. It is the key to everything you've ever wanted. The key to unlocking the doors to your greatest potential, your deepest desires, your most powerful self. The moment you understand this, the moment you realize that you are the master of your mind, you will no longer be a prisoner. You will be free. And when you are free, you are unstoppable.